Alright everyone, what's going on? Welcome back. Game number 3, the third and final game in this series between Lovecd and Dimaga. Here in the right position we do have Lovecd as the pink Protoss player, and in the left here is Dimaga as the red Zerg. So in game number 1 we did see Dimaga was allowed to macro up and just went absolutely house on everything Lovecd had. Luckily though, game number 2, Lovecd learning from his mistake, realizing he didn't want to just let Dimaga macro up yet again and repeat that same mistake. He went with some nice blink stalker harass, and that worked quite well. It forced Dimaga to make units instead of workers, and that allowed Lovecd to stay on top of his economy and actually end up exceeding what Dimaga had in terms of mining. So that blinker stalker harass definitely was the better situation, the better idea for him. So I'm going to be interested to see precisely what Lovecd decides to do this game. And in response, I'm going to be interested to see how Dimaga decides to play this game as well. Obviously, he needs to realize that he cannot make that same mistake of focusing too heavily on his army and letting his economy suffer as a result. Another big thing too is that Dimaga, yes, he did work up his army, but when he pushed out, had he taken out the third base of Lovecd, he would have actually been in a good position, but he didn't manage to do so. Lovecd was able to properly defend that push, and that was pretty much the turning point in the game. So here we go, we can see Lovecd moving on up, getting his scouting done. First and foremost, going to be spotting out precisely where Dimaga is. Is Dimaga going to be going for that same style opening we've seen him go? Yes, he is. Extractor first, then pool, metabolic boost nice and early in the game. Zerglings to stop any sort of harassment that this probe here may try to do. This guy, he is up to no good, going to be causing all sorts of mischief. Now taking a look over here inside of Lovecd's base, obviously fairly standard play thus far. Nothing too exciting to be talking about because we are just so early in the game. Right now we can see Lovecd moving up just to make certain that everything looks usual, everything looks normal. Wanted to make sure that spawning pool was up and that extractor actually ended up finishing as well. And he can actually again chill around until the Zerglings are on the board. Really no big reason for him to leave at this point in the game. Back over here for Lovecd inside of his main base. Can see that wall off. Very well formulated here. We get that one spot right there for the Zealot. There's that Cybernetics core completing that wall off. Saving up that Chrono Boost energy as of right now. Still just on the 1 gas. So not moving to 2 gas anytime early. He's been going, you know, we've been seeing him go pretty Zealot heavy in the early game. Not a lot of sentries like we do see many Protoss players do. So as such, he doesn't need that a second assimilator quite as early. Back over here, it looks like finally we are seeing Dimaga move out with his scouting. He does have his Overlord actually shipping right on over to the base of Lovecd. There's that Warp Gate research coming through. Gonna Chrono Boost out a Stalker first thing, actually. He didn't. I don't even think he got a Zealot. No, he did not. So holding off on that Zealot initially and just going straight for that Stalker. Given the fact that he was scouting inside Dimaga's base, he knew that there weren't any Zerglings on the way, so he wasn't all that concerned. And it looks like, yes, Lovecd is going to be going for an Expo sometime soon. There's that first Stalker just about to pop. And this is actually really nice because it's going to stop the scout here of this drone. Now, is the drone going to see anything? No, we didn't even see that proxy pylon down there. The reason that's significant is because that pretty much implies that Lovecd is expanding soon. So as of now, right now, it looks like Dimaga is still in the dark. He hasn't really seen much of anything. We could see Zerglings scouting around the map, trying to check for any sort of proxy locations of any pylons. There is that metabolic boost just about finished. Again, guys, off the gas. And yeah, would like to really see him actually grab these towers, but in realizing that the Stalker's on the board, maybe he's just not going to even bother until he's got a higher count of units there. Gateway blocking off here, double gateway actually formulating this wall off for this expansion. So here's a 3-gate expand, a little bit variant though to what you typically see. A lot of times it's a 3 gateways and then expand, but actually just going 1 gateway, expand, and then dropping those 2 additional gateways. And let us take a gander what's moving across the map. It looks like it is a sizable force of Speedlings, so finally Dimaga has enough Zerglings on the board to deal with any Stalker threat that could be out right now. So feeling pretty comfortable to move out, getting his scouting. There we go. He's going to see the double gateway as well as that expansion. Trying to sneak on into the main base as well. Is he going to get it? No. Force field going down, trapping those 2 Zerglings. Rest of the Zerglings probably just going to want to hightail it out of here now. Going to do a little bit of damage though while that force field block off is down. And this is a great opportunity right now for Dimaga. Very nice. Doing a bit of damage, but forced finally to push away there. Back inside the main base here of Dimaga, we can see Evo Chamber coming down. Do we have any? No Roach Warren at all. So just going to be sticking right now with this Evo Chamber. Going to be getting that layer very soon. Should be getting it just about now, actually. He does finally have that extra Vespian, so would really like to see that come into play, unless he decides to move for his 3rd first. But I'm actually pretty much expecting that Evo Chamber to come out. So we'll just see in just one moment. We'll keep an eye on that production tab there. Still continuously scouting out here the front of this expo for Lovecd. Does, of course, want to stay stay away from those Zealots and Stalkers. Here comes that level 1 upgrade right now for his ground units, so Zergling's getting that much more powerful. Going to be working on a bit of droning, but also getting a couple of Spine Crawlers, so really very interesting, opting not to go for that 3rd expansion, deciding to just defend a little bit at this point in the game. Again, here comes that level 1 upgrade. We're really going to be interested to see precisely how Dimaga decides to play this out, because again, he cannot be at this position for too long. He really needs to make sure that if he's not expanding, that he's going to be aggressive sometime soon. So here we go, finally, layer coming into play. Again, just going to defend just in case early game pushes come. These initial Zealots obviously not going to stand much of a chance. Look at them moving across with their nice weapons there in hand and getting ready to try to push forward, but no, Spine Crawler in the face. And the guy says, F that, I am out of here. See you later. 12 Zerglings coming on through. Again, level 1 upgrade, 50% of the way finished. Double Evo Chambers coming. Extractors coming out as well. We've got a couple of simulators moving down over here for Lovecd. Lovecd dropping some additional gateways and a Twilight Council. He really liked the outcome of last game and decided, hey, you know what, Blink Stalkers, they're pretty good, so I'm going to use them again. Now the hallucination did just finish, so we do have hallucinated Phoenixes coming out right now. Going to be doing some really nice scouting over here. At this point, with those Zealots, he did spot the fact that Dimaga isn't in a 3rd. He wants to check just to be sure these bases over here as well. He also, of course, checked that high yield. But yeah, no 3rd right now for Dimaga, so he must be wondering, what is going on? Well, we're going to see in just one moment because that layer pops, so I'm expecting that next step to come. And there it is, Infestation Pit dropped right there. So he just wanted some quick infestors before he actually even bothered coming up with that 3rd. We do have a nice spread of creep here from Dimaga, continuing to try to work on that. Now again, keep in mind, like I mentioned, he cannot do this for too very long, and a little bit concerned about his opponent Lovecd moving out for a 3rd. He is scouting with the Zergling, but he's got these quick infestors coming. We're not even 10 minutes into the game, and those infestors are about to come into play. Another evolution chamber coming out right now here as well for Dimaga. So again, realize he needs to be careful. Here we go, finally moving out to this 3rd. We're going to be taking care of that just right now. He did lose his Zergling at this point. That probably tipped him off to the fact that Lovecd, again, I'm calling him Emperor, I can't stand this, that Lovecd would be looking to expand. So as such, he is, of course, moving to try to get up his 3rd in response, because at the very least, he needs to be on the same number of bases. If he is behind in the number of bases, then that's the worst possible position. Again, ideally, he does want to be 1 above his opponent there. Pathogen glands coming out, infestors building as well, and again, nicely timed there. Those infestors should pop out just after those pathogen gland upgrades do finish there. Zergling scouting out the Blink Stalkers, and here they come. Blink Stalkers en route right now. Zerglings better head back home. We've got 16 Zerglings coming in response here, and the infestors hopefully will be out in time. Look at that, so very close. Carpus level 1 upgrade. Now it looks like those Stalkers are just kind of tempting fate right now. They're moving back and forth. They haven't decided to push in quite yet. As we can see, obviously, no expo has come down for Lovecd. Lovecd does have this proxy pylon out, so he is planning on being aggressive. Vision of the high ground with the hallucinated Phoenix moving right on in. Needs to be very careful, though, because we do have those infestors in play. Here comes the fungal. Completely missed, though. Dimaga missing that fungal growth. He did not get that at all, unfortunately. Again, no plans to expand, but look at this. Double expo coming out for Dimaga. So this is quite interesting. If Dimaga can defend against this, and he has his double expansions up, then he will be just fine. But if he cannot defend this, the double expo may prove to be a big mistake. We've got 20 more Zerglings just about to pop. A couple infestors here as well. Looks like Lovecd is moving out to scout for those additional bases, and he should very well spot them. One Stalker going to the high ground. He's going to spot the expo over here, as well as the one over here with another Blink Stalker. So at this point, Lovecd knows about all of the expansions. He is fully aware exactly what... Oh, no, he hasn't moved up all the way yet. What is he doing? Please check. Are you going to check it? You're not going to check it. You're not. You send a Stalker up there and you don't even bother checking it. This guy just failed at his job incredibly. His one job was to check that expo, and he has no idea. He has not relayed that information back to home base. So Lovecd still not aware that that expo's up there. That's quite unfortunate. I don't know. He could have very well sniped that down, at least forced to cancel, and then blinked away down here. Maybe a little bit too concerned though about the fungal growth from those infestors. He just decided to head back home. But I am fully surprised that this Stalker fails so badly. Hits right now, Lovecd coming out with his third. That's just about finished right now, getting down a couple of cannons for defense as well. And here we go, Dimaga now going to be in a good position if he can start to work on saturating these bases just a little bit. Here is his third, and here is his fourth up. And again, that Stalker failing super hard over there. So Dimaga looking good. Look at how hard he's droning up right now. 18 drones coming out. We got a Neural Parasite coming through, as well as the Carpus level 2 upgrades. Also working his way up to a Hive, so going to have Hive Tech very soon, and maybe be going for those Ultras as a result. Massive Blink Stalkers over here. Does he really have anything else? Not really. A couple of Zealots and Sentries, but pretty much all Blink Stalkers for our buddy over here, Lovecd. Back over here, base saturated, cannons up, defending. Couple of one gateway sitting over there as well. Is that a second gateway? Yes, it is. Couple gateways there as well. And yeah, there you have it. So formulating some bit of a wall off there. Also, of course, allowing him to warp in additional units. There's the Templar Archives. He is not going for that Psionic Storm though. He's going just straight for those Archons. This is what we saw him do last game, and so he's again looking for repeat performance. He really likes how the Blink Stalker Archon composition worked last game, so he figured he'd try it again. But this is a much different scenario than last game. Last game, Dimaga wasn't in the best situation economically, but right now it looks like Dimaga is going to be sitting pretty when it comes to economy. And here goes the Blink Stalkers right in the main. They're going to be going straight for some tech here, and this is dangerous. They're going to snipe down the Queen first. No, go straight for the Hive. The Hive is going to get killed. Infestor's moving down. There is a Fungal Growth. Zerglings need to swoop on in here and try to start to do some damage. There we go. Zerglings moving in, but the Hive is gone, and that is a problem for Dimaga. Losing the Hive is not good, but you know what? I don't know if it matters, because in all honesty, wow, look at that. He just tore apart those Blink Stalkers with the Fungal Growth and Zerglings. Now, even though Lovecd managed to take that out, look at that. We still have the benefits of that Hive coming through. The Adrenal Gland and the Ultralisk Cavern. Those are the two main reasons that Dimaga even tried to get that Hive in the first place. And the fact that those upgrades are going to complete means that harassment may have not been as effective. Taking a look right here, we can see Dimaga actually outnumbering Emperor Lovecd in terms of army size. So this is a problem right now for Lovecd. He is not looking to be in the best position. He's going to be coming out with an expansion right now. Now he can help his cause a little bit if he gets this up and saturated, but Dimaga is definitely looking to be in a really good spot right now. So taking a look over here, we can see trying to come out again with that layer. He's also going to be rebuilding the hatch here in his main as soon as he gets unblocked there from his units. Dropping down a Creep Tumor to prevent any decay from these buildings that are off creep. And there we go, dropping down the hatchery again and another hatchery. So I'm actually really liking Dimaga's position right now. A little bit concerned at this point for Lovecd, because even though he did that damage, he's still going to have to deal with these Ultras as well as that upgrade for those Zerglings. And again, that was the main point in even getting the Hive in the first place. So again, a little bit concerned right now for Lovecd. Down over here in the bottom position of the map, we can see it looks like Lovecd is going to be trying to come out with another base as well. And again, he's trying to just make sure he doesn't fall too far behind economically, because as we can see, Dimaga coming out with his base over here. Wouldn't be too surprised if he got up to high yield sometime soon as well. Now, we do have this observer moving across to scout. He does want to check that high yield. He's going to realize at this point that, hey, that's not there. No big deal. In terms of upgrades, what are we looking at? Looks like shield level 1 coming out right now for Lovecd. Also working on the armor level 2, weapons level 2, and he just did finish that Psionic Storm, so actually going to be using these High Templar for their Psi Storm against that Zergling heavy mass there. And, you know, of course, those feedbacks are going to be very, very beneficial against the Infestors here, stopping that Fungal Growth. But here comes the push. Nope, Dimaga, never mind, just kind of dancing around. I really thought he was about to roll into the main base, maybe just waiting for some reinforcements. He does have 2 more Ultras, 22 more Zerglings coming up. Here comes that Hive here as well, so going to be working his way back up to the Hive. Finally, hatchery back in his initial main, so he'll be able to start mining from there most efficiently. And here comes the push right now. Dimaga going to be very aggressive, and we need to see a re-rally of troops. There we go. Lovecd pulling down with his troops. We're going to see some Psi Storms right here. Good opportunity. Look at the damage going down on those Zerglings. Trying to get a surround on that Immortal, but boy, was it worth it. He lost so many Zerglings. Feedbacks going down. So many feedbacks going down on those Infestors. See you later, Infestors. Look at that. Feedback was nuts. Now, we do still have the Ultras, but it looks like Dimaga is going to be forced to push back. Those feedbacks and those Psi Storms were devastating. A couple of Zerglings trying to roll into the main, but it looks like they were blocked off there by those Zealots. A couple of Stalkers being warped behind them. And here comes a counter push from Lovecd, and Lovecd, wow, I thought for sure he was going to lose that game, but those feedbacks and those Psi Storms definitely turned the battle in his favor. Now, how are we looking here for reinforcements? Dimaga doing what he can, but he is still behind, and this is a big push coming. How is he going to do against it? We're going to be seeing those Ultras do a lot of damage. They tear through these Stalkers. The blink makes it a little more difficult, but I don't know if it matters. This one Immortal is going to start going to town here, as well as those Zealots. He needs to get rid of that Immortal somewhat. Fungal growth going down, but not enough. And Lovecd back in the game, and looks like he is about to win. Gonna be seeing some reinforcements from him sometime soon. He is pretty low, so keeping his macro up the best that he can, but he's gonna be sniping these Expos. We do have these Ultras moving down, but watch these Immortals just destroy those Immortals. So very strong, and I gotta tell you though, look at this High Templar, 40 kills. This guy is a baller and a half. That is unreal. What are you doing with 40 kills? You just survived an Ultralist too, finally taken out by some Zerglings. But man, that guy, him and his buddies, those High Templars, definitely just won the game here for our buddy Lovecd. That was crazy. I was not expecting that. Dimaga was in such a strong position, and we do have 6 Ultras, which is obviously a lot, and that's going to do a lot of damage. But Dimaga has lost these 2 Expos. He's in a really, really tight bind right now, and I'm just really thinking that Lovecd is just way too far ahead at this point, taking out those Expos. And I mean, I cannot believe what actually just happened. Look at this Archon, 48 kills as well. This guy's even crazier than that High Templar, but I got to give it to the High Templar. They definitely were the tide turner in this game here. Those storms on the Zerglings, the feedbacks on those Infestors were just nuts. Now here come the Ultras, gonna try to get us around. Those Immortals doing what they can, but actually a little dangerous position there, right out in the open, taking out an Ultra first before he gets dropped. And these Archons and these Blink Stalkers should be able to mop up the rest of this. Yeah, and look at that, Dimaga losing the base. Some more Blink Stalkers coming from the other direction. Reinforcements there for Lovecd. And wow, there is the GG. Dimaga starting out this game again with 1 base into expand, first getting those first 4 Zerglings, protecting himself early game, and then moving into his expansion. On the flip side, we saw Lovecd start off with 1 gate into expand and then 2 additional gates, so a little bit altered variation of the 3-gate expand. Even though he spotted the fast expansion of his opponent Lovecd, we did see Dimaga stay on 2 bases to go for a fast layer and come out with some fast Infestors. Lovecd did push out at the 11-minute mark with Blink Stalkers, but luckily for those quick Infestors, Dimaga had no problem dealing with that initial wave. You can see right now going to push him back with those Zerglings, dropping a Fungal Growth. Now that one missed, but there was no way he was really able to properly harass Dimaga because those Infestors were in play. Realizing he couldn't push in, we did see Lovecd try to move out for some scouting, and unfortunately this one Stalker completely missing the expansion. Even though his sole goal was to check the expansion, Lovecd was not aware that that was up because the Stalker was just completely out of range of it, oddly enough. Then our first big push did come at 15 minutes with a ton of Blink Stalkers here from Lovecd, and he actually managed to move up and snipe the Hive here of Dimaga. However, even though he sniped the Hive, Dimaga was still able to take advantage of high tech because he had an Ultralist Cavern coming, and he also had the Adrenal Glands coming for his Zerglings. Also, once those Infestors went in, he was able to Fungal Growth and pretty much mop up almost all of these Blink Stalkers there because of that. Even in losing his Hive, Dimaga was in a tremendous position since he was still able to upgrade those Adrenal Glands and get Ultras, so he decided to move out for a counterattack. But what we saw was some High Templars going to town, dropping the Psionic Storms on the Zerglings, and then mass feedbacking these Infestors. This was a huge turning point in the game. Those Infestors did not do nearly as much damage as they could have, and this allowed Lovecd to push out with a counterattack after defending this, and that is what forced the GG. So there you go, guys. That does it for this series between Dimaga and Lovecd. Really great, really entertaining series. This last game was quite a doozy, I would have to say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, guys, if you like the content, please do go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Keep watching and keep owning.